She could look like a disgusting fat turd in her own mind on any given morning, right? Just looks gross. She's got acne all over. She hasn't been working out for a couple weeks. Yet on Instagram that same day, she gets these DMs because of her pictures that she put out with filters and all these guys are coming in and inflating her ego. Man, you're so beautiful. You're so amazing. Gosh, I would do anything to be with you, right? Just think about that. Think about how much that would inflate her ego. Here's the biggest problem, right? Here's the problem is that modern hypergamy isn't realistic. Again, when we say hypergamy itself is in women, we don't have how can you have a problem with it? It's biology. It's just going to happen. How can you have a problem with it? Well, again, when you go back to a normal time, like if you go back to tribes, you go back to smaller towns before technology, before Instagram, before social media and dating apps, even if a girl had hypergamy, she could only experience so many different types of men in her little local town. And if she started to sleep around, word got out, and then the higher status men were like, no, I don't want that girl. She's been around. So again, back in the day, this was more in check because, girls weren't able to find the highest status men and dabble with all the highest status men all around different towns, which again, because of online dating apps, because of social media, it's so easy for women to get dates and sex that her hypergamy inflates her standards. Okay, really think about this, guys. It makes total sense. Women can get so many dates and so much sex from men that would not commit to them. They can get high status men to take them on these San Diego adventures. They can get guys to fly her out and do all this stuff. They can get guys that are willing to shell out money and take her on these nice dates. But those guys, a lot of times, are not willing to commit to these women. So because women can use these social media, they can get guys from different countries hitting on them and in her DMs talking about how beautiful she is and how hot she is on any given day. She could look like a fat turd. She could look like a disgusting fat turd in her own mind on any given morning, right? Just looks gross. She's got acne all over. She hasn't been working out for a couple weeks. Yet on Instagram that same day, she gets these DMs because of her pictures that she put out with filters and all these guys are coming in and inflating her ego. Man, you're so beautiful. You're so amazing. Gosh, I would do anything to be with you, right? Just think about that. Think about how much that would inflate her ego. And again, because they can get dates and sex from all sorts of men that are, when we talked about last week about the X-Men, these mutants of men that have these really distinct qualities, these alpha men, these men that can do a lot for a life that a normal average guy cannot do. Again, when women are able to dabble in these guys, experience them in their mind, and again, this is different than us guys because of hypergamy. Her hypergamy is like, oh, that guy took me to this restaurant. Boom, I'm able to get that. So whoever the next guy I think about committing to, he better be able to provide that for me because I already know I was able to attain that. Do you see how this hypergamy can trick her mind? It actually thinks that she's able to attain the guys, but really she was able to just get sex or a date from these really high status men. But again, because of that, modern hypergamy, they're allowed to taste all this inflated attention and ego. Their expectations are not realistic, so any normal guy just can't live up to all of her alpha widows of the past, all these guys that were able to provide these crazy experiences for her. The second problem here is that monkey branching that idea is praised. And this is what we talked about where hypergamy, when culture allows it to run rampant, it's a huge problem. It's a societal breakdown. Things like Sex and the City, things like Eat, Pray, Love, all of these books or movies or media or these feminist blogs or female dating strategies, all of these things, modern society praises things like single mothers. They have all these shows about the successful single mothers and how she left this disaster relationship and now she made it on her own and she doesn't need no man, and that's praise. Female serial daters, just like Sex and the City and all these other shows, right? That's praised. It's praised. Test it all out. Female empowerment. The patriarchy held you down for so long. Yeah, you better go out and have fun. Experience it all. All right. So again, because now society praises that makes matters worse. You have women that are experiencing multiple men. They're inflating their own hypergamy, their own standards, get high. That's one bad disaster in itself. But then on top of that, you can have the women that you might consider not even a unicorn, just like a woman that's not going to screw you over. I'm not even going to say a unicorn, just like a good moral woman. Because a unicorn in itself could be a bunch of other like great stuff. I'm just talking about something that seems extremely rare, but it's just a good moral woman that you can just go, hey, she's going to love me for me, right? Again, if you find a woman like that, then you have this other problem. Even if she hasn't slept around and has this high body count and has all this alpha widow syndrome, then you have the problem of society telling her she's missing out. Female dating strategies telling her she's missing out. Again, these are all things that will make whatever relationship you're in with her a lot more difficult and unhappy, or it will entice her to start to look around or to monkey branch. So again, we just have so many things right now working against us in this dating relationship arena that, this is why things are the way they are right now. I think about this is an internal battle for women. Think of a woman that has really high standards. Again, we could say it's her fault for sleeping around and expecting all these things, right? But let's just play this game. Let's just think of a woman that has really high standards. And it makes sense because she's like, well, if I was able to get that, and again, it's her hypergamy. It's just biology. So we can see logically why this happens. Girl gets a bunch of high standards. But now think about this. It's like a battle. So I'm watching right now the Avengers Endgame. I'm watching the last two Avengers again right now. So I just watched the first one last night again. And it's like when the Hulk is trying to turn into the Hulk and he's having this internal fight with himself. He's like, come on, Hulk, come out. Imagine it something like that, right? Because women have this in their biology. It's her hypergamy. And it's like the more men she's slept with, or the more men she's tasted, or the more, her feminist ideology is just like running in her mind about how she deserves the best. Think about that. It's like she has to tame this incredible Hulk inside of her. That incredible Hulk is like hypergamy trying to branch out. That hypergamy is like coming up saying, you can do better. And it's like, imagine how hard that is for a woman to, just be like, okay, yeah, you're right. No, just chill out. Hey, I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm content with what I am. Because again, she's fighting against biology and society. Now, I'm not giving women like, a free pass or anything here. I'm just trying to be neutral about this. Like, just understand, this is why, even if you think you can trust a certain woman, it's like she's battling this inside of her. It's like a constant battle that she has to defeat this Hulk inside of her to keep that hypergamy tamed down just because of society that we're living in. On the man's side, the result is a ticking time bomb for men. Okay, the man that tries to keep this relationship afloat or whatnot, because of high body counts from women, that again, their hypergamy is going to have this high standard because they've tasted so many different things. Because of feminist ideology, never settle, he better submit to you, you're a queen goddess, blah, blah, blah. And because of biased court systems, it's a never-ending hamster wheel for men, because even if a man happens to get married and now he's like, okay, I don't want to put up with all these games, but he finds out about the biased court system and he knows he's screwed if he gets a divorce. He knows his life is going to take a big turn for the worse in that sense, right? It's this hamster wheel he has to run on. He has to either dance around like a monkey to please his wife and then, lose respect for himself in that whole process, or he can try to stand up to be a man or whatever and hope that she just goes along with it and just follows his lead, which again, when she's committed or married to you, that's all in her control then. She has all the power once you commit and marry her. She has all that power. That's why if you're just dating around, you're single or whatever, she has to play by your rules, and that's fine. If she doesn't, no big deal. But once you get married, you lose that leverage. So you have to decide, do I run on this hamster wheel? Do I put my foot down and risk getting screwed? What do you do in that situation? So that's why it's so important to know about this before getting yourself into that situation. Because I can't imagine the mind games if you're in this situation. Like, what do you do? I don't know. And you guys know you have no guys in your real life to talk about this with. Like, what would you do? It's like too late at that point. Here's the solution: is you have to protect yourself. You have to protect yourself, because with great power comes great responsibility. We know that. We've heard that from Spider-Man. If you get married or you make big changes to your life for a woman, let's just say that you decide to move across the country to be with this woman. Like, this is stuff that a lot of guys do. Or get married, right? You're making a big commitment or a big change for a woman. You have to just know she has all of the power. So when I say with great power comes great responsibility, there is right now in my life, and I know that there's more than this, but literally only one person in my life that I can feel confident in, that this girl I know, it's my cousin. It's just like, I know that I'm like, okay, and she's single or whatever. She's just such a great human being. And I think I've talked about her before on this, but like, she's like the one person in my life that I could, with full merit, if there's like a really good guy, I could be like, hey, dude, trust this girl. If she's going to commit to you, she's going to commit, and you can trust. That is one girl that I know that could handle that great power, that great responsibility. Because again, in today's world, women have all of the power if you commit or get married to them, because of society pushing our ways, biased court systems, and then her hypergamy, all of this stuff, her being able to get her sleep around and doing all these other, like, there's a lot of things that are just in her favor. So you have to understand she's going to have all the power. And that's why we say, like, I really don't know, other than that one woman, any women that I could say, hey, I trust you with all the power. And the problem is, again, right, women are attracted to men with power and status. That is why this is so backwards, because a man that has power in the relationship is attractive to women. She likes a man that has power. But again, by the virtue of how everything's set up today, when you get married, you give that power away to women. So that is why it would be, you would have to put all of your trust in her that she won't abuse her power. And again, I can say, yes, there will be women that don't abuse that power. But when I'm talking to a large scale audience of this, the statistics are going to be that most women will abuse this power, which makes it so you have to protect yourself. You can't just hope. Can't just think, well, dang, she seems like a sweet girl. She would never do that to me. Too many guys have made that mistake. So for the short-term solution with a woman, be mysterious, unpredictable, and unavailable. Yeah, I mean, there's a million ways to actually show this or do this and figure it out in your day-to-day. But in general, right, be mysterious, unpredictable, and unavailable for women. Remember, if her hypergamy never thinks she has you, she will continue to look at you as high value in the prize. This is like the big secret. This is how guys are able to keep women attracted for a long period of time. Now, when I say short term, this could be weeks, this could be months, this could be years, but it's on a short-term basis. It changes completely if you committed to her with marriage-wise, because, well, we'll go get in that into the next slide. But for short-term wise, again, when a woman's hypergamy goes, I can attain this guy. I know I have him because he's telling me how much he likes me. He's telling me how much he loves spending time with me. He's telling me how he would much rather be spending time with me here than by himself or working or doing blah, blah, blah. When she knows that a guy has, or that she has a guy, again, in her biology, her little She-Hulk just goes, all right, we got this guy. Now start looking for better men out there. And then she starts to put you on the back burner. She treats you with less respect, and she stops playing your game. So that short-term solution is mysterious, unpredictable, unavailable. Make her work for everything. You're the prize. All of that, right? Now look at this. The solution for long-term. Be mysterious, unpredictable, and unavailable. But here's the big age-old question. Can you maintain these 3 things if you get married or if you live with a woman? All right, so just think of this for long term. If you get married or if you commit to living with a woman, you're with her day to day, every single day, you guys are waking up together, all that. Are you going to be able to keep up being mysterious, unpredictable, and unavailable? Okay? If the answer is no, then don't do it. If the answer is yes, then you're a genius and teach everyone else how to do it because you'll be a millionaire. But to be able to keep up this mystery, unpredictableness, and unavailable by living with her or getting married, I don't see a way that that's really possible. Now, there are, again, like we say, the exceptions to the rule, those crazy good marriages, but those are so few and far between. And again, women do have all the power in the marriage in that sense, if they yield that power. So you still have to, even if you're able to play the game the right way, you would have to find a woman, the unicorn woman, that wouldn't abuse that power. So again, you got to protect yourself in this. Don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, share the video, but definitely subscribe.